Vegan shrimp? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ken Johnson. So when I was going to college, I had to spend 2 weeks out of my life living as a vegan. It was for a college class on wellness. I had to learn all their hippie, not true beliefs on incomplete proteins, all that dogma garbage that they try to press down your throat. And I was so good at it that I gained weight. And I almost failed the class until I showed my diary with recipes of how I made my foods. And the professor was absolutely shocked because, one, my food didn't taste like vegan when we had to do our little show and tell deal at the end, and I brought in sour cream and borscht and all this other stuff that I was eating, and it was all vegan. So I made fake meat and my dog was loving it. So you can eat a vegan lifestyle. I'm not saying it's cheaper. I'm not saying it's healthier. I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying you can do it. But if you're of the Judeo-Christian faith, remember, it was vegans that caused the fall of man, because Adam and Eve were both vegans. So yeah, there's a reason why they always look a little crazy and not right. Anyhow, I saw a bunch of videos on vegan shrimp, and with the prices of seafood skyrocketing, I thought, well, this might be a way to have shrimp-like flavors that is maybe, not quite, but maybe half the cost. Because what I'm using, I can get a pound of for the same price I can get a pound of shrimp. And this will produce about 3 to 4 pounds. So now once you start cooking, water evaporation, all that, it will come out to be about twice the normal amount. And also you're going to have some waste. And I'll explain all that in a second. But that's the reason why I'm doing this. In this case, veganism may actually be cheaper if you can't find something, or if you just can't afford it because of market prices. So we're going to give it a try. Stick around. Alrighty, so these right here are cashews. They're raw whole cashews. They are not rated as to being what they are in size. Just says the weight. Sometimes you will see cashews and they'll be rated by the size. They look to be about a 118. So 118 means that you get 118 cashews per pound. They're looking about that. These may be a little bit smaller than that. They'll swell up to about roughly 3 to 4 times the size, but as you'll see, there's some that are broken, little broken pieces and everything. So they should come out to be somewhere about 20 to 30 cashews per pound is what this should come out to be. I won't weigh them, but something along that lines. So I'm going to take out all the broken pieces, all the halves, all that, separate them out. I will not show that because each bag differs. There's no need to worry about it. Just realize you're going to have waste and you can't do anything about that. So just eat those as a snack. And then I'm going to put the nuts in a brine solution, and I will show that next. So into a bowl, I'm adding 3/4 cup of plain white sugar. Now I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of regular salt. You can use iodized salt. I'm not using iodized salt this time. I'm just using regular old table salt. Now putting in 2 tablespoons of MSG. Now if you didn't want to make this vegan, you could put in an additional tablespoon of fish sauce, and that would help with the flavor as well. Now I got 1 teaspoon of asafoetida. Now asafoetida, also called devil's tongue, has a really strong, pungent flavor, and I'm hoping that will carry through to give it more of a shrimp-like flavor, especially with the MSG. To the asafoetida and all the other stuff, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Now I'm adding in 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, or actually granulated garlic. Now we'll just add in a few drops of red food coloring, just to kind of make it pinkish color. They ended up being about 9 or 10 drops of red food coloring. Time to add the water. I've got 4 cups of water going in right now. We'll just whisk it up and taste it, make sure it's what we want. This is it mixed up. I did taste it. It's very sweet but needs a little bit more salt, so I'm going to add in another tablespoon of salt, but this time I'm going to add iodized sea salt. I think I need the iodine. I really do. Shrimp generally have iodine in them. I think that's what I'm missing, that bitter taste. Alright, so there it is. Tablespoon going in of iodized sea salt. Let's try it and see. It needs another tablespoon, so we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of the iodized sea salt. So 4 tablespoons of salt. I'm going to add a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. Let's make that 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. I'm going to use a 1/2 tablespoon of kikkoman soy sauce. Let's make that a full tablespoon of kikkoman soy sauce. Just for demonstration purposes, I wanted to show you that color. So it's got a kind of a what we call Indian orange, kind of an orangey red color. Very similar to what you would see with shellfish when they're cooked. So that's good. Now we'll put in our sorted nuts. Alright, these are definitely smaller than 118 size. I didn't count them out, but they're way smaller. That's all I had that was busted up pieces. Of course, some of these will split open and not be usable in the brine process, so I'm probably going to lose about half. I'd say I probably got about 200 nuts in this small bowl. They're about the size of salad shrimp right now, to give you an estimate. So if you're used to salad shrimp, they're roughly about that size. They'll get, supposedly, what everybody says when you soak them right, about 3 to 4 times the size. But again, you're going to also have loss due to, nuts splitting in half and things of that nature. So we're going to go ahead and toss these into the bag, just so you can see what they look like in the bag before I put them in the refrigerator. This is what they look like now. And I did try a few of the busted cashews, and that Miller Pecan Company, they have some good quality cashews. I mean, I can't fault them on that. They got good flavor. So now we're going to just let these sit out for about a day or two in the refrigerator. Alright, so if you look at this, what you'll notice is that they really have not swelled that much. They've doubled in size, but they're not like tripling or quadrupling. Some people have had this problem and noted it, and some people said that they didn't have any problem with it. Information on these recipes is always sparse. Nobody wants to give any exact instructions. I'm going to try a trick on some of these and see if it works. If it does, I'll let you know, because one of the things people talk about is that when you fry them up, they kind of still stay firm. So I'm wanting these to soften up as they soak more. So I'm going to try a poaching method, and we're going to see if this works with some of them. For the poaching method, what we're going to do is take a very small saucepan. We're going to put the cashew nuts and some of the brine in there and put it over a very low heat for a very long time. And this will hopefully cook the cashews to make them soft, and then we'll chill them up before frying. Now, I will say that I did try one of the raw cashew nuts. I just tried it. I won't say it tastes like shrimp, but man, it's really good. Got sweet flavor, got savory flavor. Nothing like what the marinade tasted like yesterday. So it's been sitting for over 24 hours. Now we're going on about 36 hours. The nut though is still crunchy, but it's not like really crunchy. It's just got that soft crunch is the best way I can put it. So it's not like a water chestnut, but it's just got just a little bit of chew to it, so you would know it's not a shrimp, and I'm trying to soften it down more. So we're going to try this poach and see how that works. Alright, so as I said before, we got the nuts have been soaking. We boiled the nuts. They taste kind of like boiled peanuts. Just in case this doesn't work, I've been taking a cue from my seitan worshipping vegans. And so I've just said WTF. Now, before anybody starts freaking out, seitan is basically just a fake meat made from washed flour. So it's the gluten proteins in the wheat that you cook up. And so WTF stands for wash that flour. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get started. Now, for best results, I recommend that you use a bread flour. Now, if you look here, it says, quite frankly, a serving is a 1/4 cup, and you get 4 grams of flour. The reason why I say use a bread flour, look at this. This right here, same brand, but this is all-purpose flour. Same amount, 1/4 cup, 2 grams. So you get 2 grams more protein by using bread flour than you do all-purpose flour. Alright, we got about 2 cups of bread flour in here, and we're going to add 1 cup of water. Now we're adding our 1 cup of water to 2 cups flour, bread flour. And now we'll just mix this up by hand until we get a dough ball. You don't have to work very hard at this, just kind of mix it up good. I actually messed up. I should have used only a 1/2 cup of water, and I'm out of bread flour, so I'm going to add in about 1 cup of regular all-purpose flour. That'll be fine. I'll still get the protein, I just will have more starch to deal with, that's all. Here we go. I still got way too much water, so I'm going to add in another cup of flour. Okay, so most of your seitan makers, they want the dough to be a little bit drier than this. They probably would have added about another 1/2 cup of flour. I'm not going to do that. There's a process called autolyzation, and it was discovered by a French bread maker back around the 1800s sometime. And it is a way for, it is how starches and proteins and everything hydrate in the flour. Basically, it says that you don't need to knead your dough forever and ever and ever. Amen. You just kind of put it together and let it sit. So I'm going to let this set probably for about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and work the dough. And once we work the dough, it should be firmer, everything should be better, and then we'll go to the next process. Alright, so it's been roughly about an hour actually. I lost track of time. Wife came in. She had me put together some stuff for her. She's going to do some spray washing on the outside of the house. So been kind of chaotic today. So what I'm going to do is mix up this dough. Okay, so in all reality, I probably should have added another cup of flour. This is a very sticky dough. It sticks to my hands, but you can see that's also very stretchy. I'm going to say this is good enough for my purposes, but if you're going to make a true seitan, you need to make it where it's a little bit thicker. I'm going to now add, I'm going to cover this in water. So this probably be about 4 cups, I'm imagining, of water that I'll cover this in and let it sit for an hour. Alright, that is 4 cups of water, and I did add some ice to keep it cold. Protein extraction does better when something is cold, so actually keeping this dough in a refrigerator for about an hour or so before you needed it would have been better. Gets more protein extraction out. Most people make seitan never do this, but proteins need cold for the best possible extraction. So I'm going to keep it cold, and we're going to let this sit for a good hour before we wash the flour. Alright, if you're hearing background noise, it's my wife. She's pressure washing the house as I do this video. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wash the flour now. So all I'm doing is kind of kneading it with my fingers. And you see the starch kind of going away. The cold has actually helped firm up the dough. And what we're going to do is then after the water gets nice and cloudy, we'll pour off the water. I'm going to save the water because vegans say that you make a bacon that would convert a carnivore. I don't believe them, but we'll give it a try possibly in another video. But I'm just going to try to work this flour. They say it takes about 2, 3, sometimes as much as 5 washes to get it mostly just protein, what they call seitan, and you can see it kind of separating out. So eventually what we'll have is just a protein ball mostly. There'll still be some starch from the flour. You never really can get rid of that. You can buy some stuff that is a gluten flour, and you don't even have to do this because what they've done is they've extracted just about all the starch out of it that they can, and you just mix it with water. And so that's what a lot of people do nowadays instead of the flour method for making seitan. But seitan done this way has been around since about the 6th century, so that's pretty interesting that it's been used as a meat alternative for all these years. Now we'll go ahead and wash this another time, so second rinse. Alright, so this is the most I was able to manage to get out of the flour solution. In contrast, this is my thumb. Yeah, that's how much seitan I got out of the flour. All those cups of flour, I got roughly about a thumb-sized ball. Not even enough to get 2 shrimp out of it. So I did use a very loose dough, so what I did is I got some more bread flour. I took a cup of it and just trickled water until I got a very tight dough. I've got it chilling in the refrigerator. I'm going to do this process over with just a cup but I'm going to keep the water ice cold. I'm going to keep everything super cold and see if maybe that is it. I'm thinking that my protein extractions cause everything was too warm. Alright, let's make a batter. This is going to be a simple flour and water batter. This right here is self-rising flour. I probably put in about a quarter cup, something like that. And now I'm just going to add water. Just a little bit more water than flour, but not much difference. Okay, this is just a real runny batter, very thin, nothing special. Now we're just add a little bit of seasoning salt in here. Okay, I'm just using adobo, all-purpose blue cap without the pepper. Then I'm adding just a little bit of sea salt. I think it needs more salt than anything else. Everything is to taste. I don't know, that's probably about a half teaspoon of the adobo and a teaspoon of salt, maybe. Alright, you can see how these turned real pink. I just put a handful in here. I'm just testing them out. I got way more nuts prepared than what I'm going to actually eat. But if this turns out good, then tomorrow we might have a snack or something other. But I'm going to put this in here, and then we're going to take them out with a fork and put them in some panko breadcrumbs and fry them out that way with panko. Alright, you can see where this hasn't done really good at battering, so what I'm going to do is re-batter these one more time. I'll throw them in and kind of roll them around, and then do a second coating, and hopefully it'll stick. If I wasn't doing vegan, then add either egg or preferably milk would have helped, but because I'm doing vegan, it makes it more difficult to cook. Now we're going to try the boiled nuts. I'm going to just put in a handful of them, and they're so soft. I'm just going to try to do a few of them, not many. I will say that the boiled nuts actually holds on to the batter better and breads better, but man, they're super soft and difficult to handle. With the seitan, what I did is I broke off pieces and kind of ripped it and twisted it until I got it into some chunks, kind of like shrimp shape. I'm going to try something else. They say normally you have to steam it or boil it, so I'm going to try boiling it as well and see how that works. Alright, in my boiling solution for the seitan shrimp, I've got water, and I'm going to put in probably some onion powder to taste, whatever that is. As maybe a teaspoon. Now I'll add the same amount of the adobo. Just a little bit of red food coloring, by a drop or two, just to get it going good. There we go. About a teaspoon of sugar, more or less. And we'll do the same thing with salt. So iodized sea salt going in. Every now and then this kind of orangey blob rolls out just like that one. Don't look anything like a shrimp, so this may be a flub up. Alright, this stuff was really weird. It puffed up, and then as soon as I took it out, it started deflating and releasing moisture. Really strange. Most people, they'll wrap it up in plastic and then they'll steam it, but if you had to do that for shrimp, I mean, good God, why are we even trying to make fake shrimp? Get real shrimp at this point. But you know, if one of these works out, that's good. But even if it was seitan being the cheaper, easier, better tasting choice, it's not that easy. There's no way this is going to taste or be able to fake somebody into thinking it's shrimp, in my point of view. But we're going to keep on and see how this works. Alright, time to fry these up. First up, I'm going to do the non-boiled seitan. The reason why I'm doing that is because this oil's coming up temp, and you're supposed to cook the seitan first. Now, I didn't with this one, so I'm letting it kind of have time to cook through all the way before I do the other ones. So you can see here where it tried to bust through, but some of them didn't. Really all this did is make me hungry for mozzarella cheese sticks fried, because that's how this smells right now. Next is the boiled seitan. The oil got way too hot. That one, it was all puffed out and now it's all flat. It's crazy how this stuff works. Next we're doing the soaked cashews. Alright, there it is. I mean, you could probably fool a vegan into thinking that was fried shrimp, but definitely not a Florida boy. We would know better. These two, definitely, you couldn't fool anybody in thinking they're shrimp. This one is a little bit closer. Now let's try the boiled cashews. I think the boiled cashews actually look the best out of all of them. So that's boiled, that's soaked cashews, that's boiled seitan, and that's regular seitan not boiled. So let's give them a try. I'm going to give this one a shot first. This is the non-boiled seitan. It's the one that looks the best. Now, if I had some cheese and marinara sauce, would be good. But no. Now we're going to try the boiled seitan. No. Got a mushy texture. I can see why people say to steam it. That was a nightmare. It's saltier though. Got better flavor. Tastes more like a cheese stick. Just needs some marinara and some something to go with it. Now it's time for the soaked cashew. Hold on. Go back for another one of these. Not shrimp, but good. It's got kind of a boiled peanut taste, but it's crunchy, salty. Got some good flavor. I would not say this is shrimp. Alright, so let's try the boiled cashew. Got some more pieces. So the boiled peanut flavor went away on the boiled one when you fry it. And when you fry the one that's not boiled, it tastes like boiled peanuts. This doesn't have the salty, savory notes. If I had boiled it more in sugar water, maybe a little bit more salt, this could pass as shrimp. I think if you, this right here, you could work with this and make this into a shrimp substitute. Now, like I said, the whole reason behind this was if you could get cashews affordably, If you don't have access to shrimp, you want shrimp, maybe this would be a good thing. What we have learned is that most vegans cannot be trusted whatsoever because, I mean, why are they even trying to make something taste like meat if the whole purpose of veganism is not to have meat? That's crazy. No, they're a religion. They're a fake religion that's trying to convert people as what it is. If they really did care about not eating meat and that they thought that was wrong, they wouldn't be trying to come up with all this. They're trying to convert people, just like any other religion. Now, this right here, you could work with it. Is it worth it? Maybe. Definite maybe. I have access to shrimp very easily here in Florida. It is not cheaper for me. If I was somewhere else in the world, somewhere else in America, I might play with this more. I have no need to play with this. So, from my standpoint, it's not worth it. Maybe for you. Give it a try. It's worth it. You need to experiment, even if you may not agree with things like veganism or things of that nature. If there's a trick or a technique or something other, you might be able to use it in other ways, like to stretch your budget or maybe to splurge a little bit without really splurging, like a fake shrimp sandwich. I don't think any of this would fake out somebody from Florida, but yeah, it would fake out some vegans, because the vegans. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you found this to be entertaining, insightful. Please give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment below if you've tried anything that was this fake meat stuff and did any of it taste good. What should I try next? Let me know that. With that, I'll see you again next time. Bye.